Hello and welcome back to another episode of FTB Sky Factory 2.5. My name is Twin Minds and I'm growing a pumpkin. I need one, and I did not realize that through all of the stuff that I've been collecting, I did not have a pumpkin. So I am trying to grow one. And speak of the devil. Alright, I have my pumpkin and I'm going to leave that right there, although I don't believe it's watered, so it may kill itself eventually. Who cares? I've got a bunch of pumpkin seeds, so I'm not worried about it. So, first off, I wanted to show a little bit of progress here. Nothing here, but over here. I have worked a little bit more on the decoration. I don't quite know what to do with this entrance quite yet, so I'm leaving it open for now. I've put in some marble pillars, and I've actually changed up my walls to blocks of iron, because I had quite a bit of iron to work with, and I thought it looked a little bit more intentional than all of these arcane stone blocks that I had here. This has a nice little border, and I think it just looks a little bit better. Also, obviously the roof, treated wood planks. I thought they kind of had an interesting mix between a look of a wooden roof versus something like a tiled roof. I think the patterning just kind of works for this. Keeps it a little bit more interesting than a blank wood roof would be. So I'm working on it. Not quite done yet, but it's definitely getting there. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to do everything, because this down here might just end up staying pretty boring. But at the very least, I'd like for the top floor to be done. So that's that. And then the other thing I wanted to show is the reactor. I did a little bit of stuff on here. So what I did was, you can see it's very slowly filling it up, at only 350 RF per tick. And the reason for that is this low temperature, which is caused by this reactor control rod being at 73% inserted. And what that basically means is that the control rod is inserted. You can see it went to 74 there. We'll get to that in a moment. The further the control rod is inserted, the less the reactor runs. So at 74% inserted, that means it's running at 26% capacity. So that's ultimately what the purpose of that is, and that is accomplished by this RedNet controller. This RedNet reactor port, reactor RedNet port, there we go, is installed in the side here, so it can input and output redstone signal through RedNet. And RedNet is through Mindfactory Reloaded. So what we've got here is a complicated mess of stuff, and it is incredibly powerful, but I have not played with it too terribly much. What I ultimately have going on here is this one here outputs the amount of energy that is in the reactor. And this one here, if I hit O there to uncover it, it inputs a change in the control rod insertion. So any redstone signal that gets put in will change how far that control rod is inserted. So what we've got here is an output of energy and an input of control. So if we look at the RedNet, it's very simple. And I had to look this up because honestly I didn't know enough about it to do it offhand, but pass-through allows it to take whatever's in here for a redstone signal and put it out over here. So I've got it taking in the redstone signal for the amount of energy that is in the control, or in the reactor, and outputting on the same side, that left side, but on the purple channel, the exact same number, basically. It takes the energy that is in and puts it out over here. But what that does, this redstone signal, normally you'd see strengths of 0 to 16, 15, whichever. 0 to 15 is normally the only redstone control numbers that you've got. But RedNet is more powerful than that. So what it's doing is it is putting out the exact number that is in the energy buffer in percentage. So it is 73% full, so the strength that is coming out of this cable is 73, which is then pushing it out to the purple channel back into here, which is controlling the percentage of this control rod. So that is how you can tell the reactor to slow itself down and not burn as much fuel the more full it gets. Now that is part one, a very long part one, but part one nonetheless. So if this reactor were to empty, it would run at 100% and do 1100 RF per tick. But I'm not doing that. What I'm doing is, second number here, I am taking the white channel again, which is the percent of energy, and I want it to less than 75, and just output a redstone signal on the orange channel on the right side. So if it is less than 75%, send a redstone signal. And this tesseract is set to run without a signal. So when it receives a signal, it is off, which means when this reactor is less than 75% full, this thing gets a signal to turn off the tesseract so energy does not flow in here. So if my reactor does go above 75%, this will turn on and send power to the laser. Simple enough? Alright. So basically, any excess power this thing is putting out is going to the lasers. The rest is being kept in the buffer in case I need it for the rest of my system. I love it. It's a very simple control, and I know that there's actually a computer craft option for the big reactor to control it more precisely, but I'm not worried about that just yet. However, I built myself an advanced computer, not a basic computer, to start fiddling with that. So that might be incoming in a future episode. And then, over here, just a little bit of a thing I built. These are formation planes, and they are set, all of them are set, to store dirt at a very high priority, so that any dirt that goes into the system will get placed through the formation plane. And then this is a vacuum chest from Ender.io that apparently found a creeper head. I'm not worried about that. This is a bit of an interesting setup. So I have it importing anything that's in here. So it's importing dirt. But I also have it set as a storage for dirt, but at a very slightly less priority. So what it's doing is it's importing dirt from this chest into the network, which is set to store at the highest priority on these things, and secondarily in here, so that it has more dirt to import. And ultimately what that does is allows it to place dirt. And that is how I was leveling. There we go. That is how I was leveling up all of my unbreakable hose. Because I was really getting tired of placing it all, breaking it all, placing it all, breaking it all, etc. So I built this little snazzy gadget to just kind of let me sit here and do that. All I had to do was turn off my magnet so that it didn't pull it to me and instead pull it to the vacuum chest. So I've got 6 unbreakable matics now, I think, because of this. So this made my job a lot easier. So this is going to stay here if I need it again. If I do happen to move it, it will be set up again somewhere else because I like it. It's a very simple setup, but it works for my needs. And here it is. Alright, so enough show and tell here. I've done quite a few things off camera, but a lot of that was just grindy nonsense, so I didn't want to show any of that. But what I do want to show is the next plan. And the next plan involves the end. So let's go there. And then I'm going to have to quick react. So hold on a sec. Like that. Good lord. Alright. Come on. Go away. Y'all done? Alright. This is the challenge of building this the direction that I am facing when I teleport in, because they immediately get seen and get all crazy. So I kind of have to react quickly on that. But now that the craziness is done, this is the ritual for the Division Sigil. And the one thing I did forget is a beacon. So let me go get my beacon and I'll be back. Ta-da! Beacon. Alright. So the beacon goes in the center here and makes quite a light. That's good. Now, this ritual, if I am facing north, which I am, this ritual is set up so that each chest contains important things. The north chest contains the Children of Fire, and these are all things that you can get from the furnace. Smooth stone from cobblestone, glass from sand, etc. These are all vanilla items that can come directly from a furnace. And then that is the north, and then to the south we have the Gifts of Earth, which is what I had previously mentioned, the various things that can spawn in a vanilla world. Grass blocks, dirt, emerald ore. So I did manage to get the ores that I needed from the laser, which is good. And then on the eastern chest is the Descendants of Water, which is potions, basically. All the different things that you can make potions. They do have to be 12 different vanilla potions, which I do believe all of these are. I'm not positive, but I put a few extra in here just in case. And then the west is the Spices of Air, which is all of the music discs. Then we have a spiral of 2 spirals of redstone and 2 spirals of string all the way around. And this is the ritual. Now, if I take my activated Division Sigil and shift right click, Children of Fire, Gifts of Earth, Descendants of Water, Spices of Air are all done, which is great. And ritual markings are full strength. As you can see there, everything is prepared. So, sacrifice one who would sacrifice himself. And that is in the form of, oops, an iron golem. Now, the next part, after I put his head on there, is going to get pretty crazy. The next step is to kill 100 creatures, which is why I have these platforms set up so things can actually spawn. I'm not entirely sure if the Endermen count, but they might. Yeah. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this head down and sacrifice this poor golem, and then I'm going to kill a bunch of stuff. I'm not quite sure how much of it I'm going to leave in. I'm probably going to cut out quite a bit. So, let's get to it. I'm not going to be talking while I do this because I need to concentrate a little bit. So, here we go. Come on, buddy. And there we go. So, all of the critters are gone, and now I've got regular critters to work with. Now, flying is usually hazardous, so I'm not going to do that. Kills 1. Obviously, flying is not hazardous. Interesting. Okay, good to know. Normally, flying will actually kill you. Not kill, but do some significant damage. Oh dear. I don't like being poisoned. I don't like being on fire all that much either. 24 down. Oh dear, that's a lot of creepers. That is a lot of creepers. I'm not looking forward to this part. Yay, ding. Creepers, come and get me. Aw. You stole my kills. Oh dear lord, what is that? What in the ever-loving holy hell is that? That is a giant zombie. Oh dear. Silverfish, seriously? Hey, where'd my zombie go? Where'd my giant zombie go? I am disappointed. I kind of wanted to fight him. I want to try this to see if this will get me kills. No, no it will not. Wonderful. Close range it is. Getting there. 80. Whew. This is quite the long haul. What the hell, creeper? 97. Come on, poison. Seriously, go away. I see you coming. Alright, 2 more. Let's do this. I see a witch. I missed a witch. And done. Awesome. And now we have regular Enderman spawning again. I do hate poison, ever so much. But I now have my pseudo-inversion sigil. And this allows me to craft the Mobius unstable ingots for basically the cheap recipe, rather than the expensive 1 diamond per nugget recipe. So I am looking forward to doing that. I'm going to go do that, actually. Get myself the heck out of here. Right, I am back home, and I need to take care of some inventory. So, let me clean up some of this nonsense, and then I will get back to you. Alright, so the inventory is fresh and clean, and the next thing that I wanted to do is make use of that sigil that I just created. So this is the pseudo-inversion sigil. It listed as stable, and I do believe this one does not require, or it does not have any durability like the other one did. So this creates the Mobius stable unstable ingots. I'm going to say that backwards every time because that's fine. So I think I need 4 of these. So I like these for many reasons. They stack, and they can be used in a non-standard crafting grid. Actually, 2 reasons, but 2 very big reasons. So I'm going to go with that. Now, I'm trying to make this unbreakable wand, which is the top tier that the book has told me to make, and that is made by the Super Builder's wand. But you can't get the Super Builder wand recipe, but I do believe it is the same. There we go, Super Builder's wand. It is the same, but if you put in the Mobius ingots, it creates this wand. Oops, looks like I can't stack those. That's fine. And then sticks, like so. And I do believe it's 4 of these. And then 2 of these to make the next version. So these ones are for 4096 blocks, and these are 8192. So I need 2 of those. And then that makes the 16384, which is the max tier. Perfect. So that is going to go in my little collection of stuff. And this one can go... let's put it over here. Alright, so max tier. Now, another thing I did it off camera because it wasn't really all that exciting. I got dollies full of monster spawner blaze. I got 5 of them, just like the book said. I'm probably going to end up putting these to use somewhere in some sort of mob spawner, but for right now, they're just sitting in my network. And that is... there we go. And there is the highest tier Unbreakable Builder's Wand. Awesome. Now, let's see if we can accomplish this one. Since I had failed so miserably to do it before, I now have an extra modifier remaining on this thing. So let's try to fill that up. That is quartz. Probably didn't need 2 stacks, but that's alright. That's full. 36. Not quite enough. So that puts it at godlike skill level, which means it's not going to level up anymore on its own, which means I need to fix it. So to fix it, I need a diamond or a gold block and a diamond. I'm probably going to need 2 modifiers because the last modifier, 1 modifier added 4 damage. 1 modifier might make 4 more damage. Let's try it. Okay, so that goes there, and that goes there, which adds another modifier. Does this do 40 damage? It does do 40 damage. Wonderful. Now, I would like to test that out just to be sure, which means I need to go visit my farm where my scarecrow is. Are we at 40? 40 and a half even. Awesome. So I have finally legitimately accomplished that rather than just randomly checking off the box. Oops. There we go. Alright, so we have a few things accomplished here. And the rest of this is mostly magical things. Now I did check further in the book here again just to refresh my memory, and we've got the Draconic set going. That's what my end stone sifting setup is going to be for, is to get enough Draconic ingots to make this stuff eventually. Too much stuff in there that's a little bit too much for my liking. I have gotten the Unknown Dimlet, but I have not done the rest of this stuff yet, so I will make dimensions in a little bit. And the rest of this is crazy stuff. But one of the crazy things, I finished. Craft a single octuple compressed cobblestone block. I did that quite a while ago, actually, so I'm good with that one. So there's not much left in the book that I can do at this moment. So the next thing that I wanted to do is to build up a replacement mob spawner. Now if you look all the way up here, I did add a little bit. I added these fans, and these act as kind of a directional conveyor belt type of thing, like I've got in here. Like these will do anything that's touching them on the ground, whereas the fans will just kind of blow everything in that general region. It's hard to show off their power when they're against a wall like that, but they do work, trust me. So I've got it set so that everything will blow into the center, and that was going to help drop them down faster, which actually helps them spawn faster up at the top. So that's what that's for. So I'm probably going to make use of these again in the next mob spawner, but this monstrosity's got to go. So to do the next mob spawner, let me grab some cobble. And then cursed earth. And then I want ineffable glass, which is made with these unstable ingots. And thickened glass. Oh, I forgot about that part. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to take some time to get more of this thickened glass. It's actually done by smelting that sandy glass. So I'm going to have to smelt up more glass in general, and then smelt up all these sandy glass. So before I do that, I just remembered I don't want ineffable glass. I want dark ethereal glass, which is dark glass, which is more of this thickened glass, which is good, and then blackout curtains. Alright. So let's make some blackout curtains. Okay, there's that. And there's that. And I'll do another couple stacks of that stuff, because I'm pretty sure I will need a lot of it. So, the dark ethereal glass. So the ineffable glass, what that does, wherever it happens to be hiding, it allows players to pass through, but does not allow monsters to pass through. And then the reason I want the dark ethereal glass is it does the same thing, but it remains dark inside. So that's why I want that. So I'm going to have to take a little bit of time here to cook some of that stuff up, and then I will return. Okay, so I think I have managed to gather everything I need. I think, maybe. We'll find out. All this stuff is stuff I need for the next steps, because I'm ultimately going to be using the cursed earth and the grinder to redo my mob spawner, because this thing's got to go. So all of this stuff, for the most part, will be transferred over pretty much as is, at least with a very similar setup. So I'll do most of this off camera, but I do want to get the thing built. So let's do that. Which direction am I facing? There we are. So I've set up a little bit of an area, and I do need to expand it out a little bit more. And of course I still need to decorate, obviously, but I did extend my walkway just to get things prettied up. So the grinder needs to go down somewhere, and I think I will start off by just putting it one block up. Alright, so that's just gonna tick away doing nothing for now. And then I need to expand out my platform. Hope I brought enough cobble for this. So the mob grinder can go out to 5 spaces. So this little platform in front of it is the extent of where it can grind out. I don't think I brought enough cobble for this. Fine. I did bring quite a lot of dirt, although I didn't really need to, but that's okay. So I will be using the fans to move mobs in, and the fans can push, I believe, 6 total spaces. And then let's light that up, because we're building a mob grinder, but I don't want them out here just yet. Okay, so 6 spaces this way, and 6 spaces this way. And then also I'm going to do 6 spaces this way, I believe. Alright, so that does mean I need quite a bit more cobble. So let me cut and grab some cobble and I will be back. Alright, one can never have too much cobble. So, with my newfound love of this unbreakable wand, let's fill this thing out quick. Okay. Alright. So, let's finish lighting that up. So, it's kind of an odd shape, but ultimately it will do what I want it to do, I believe. So, the next step is to raise it up a little bit with dirt. This is probably going to get loud because I remember dirt placing quite loudly. Alright, so this is the basic platform. And then I would like to raise it up a notch with cobble. This is where it becomes hazardous using this thing. If I were to right click there, it'd fill up that entire spot. Okay. Alright, so the next step, aside from lighting it up so I don't spawn anything to blow it up, I hate surprise creepers. This ultimately needs to be dark. And to make it dark, that's what I've got the dark ethereal glass for. Now, for the most part, I can just fill it up with cobble or some other decorative, but I would like to have the dark ethereal glass in a few spots just to be able to see what I'm doing. So I think that's where this is probably going to come in. So how about there, and there. Now this is probably going to need to be at least 3 high so I can get Enderman. And, you know, that might actually be good enough. Yeah, that'll do for now. And then I need to surround this entire thing so it's pitch black. Minus the torches, obviously. So I will do that, and I will return. Alright, with quite a bit of time and effort, I've gotten this thing covered. So what I went ahead and did is I covered it all up, and these holes correspond to lights. Now these lights are from Ender.io, and they behave just like a torch. Specifically this version, the light inverted, behaves just like a torch. Place it down, creates light, end of story. It is redstone controlled though, so you can give it a redstone signal to turn it off. The inverted version means it's on by default and redstone turns it off. The other version that is not inverted is off by default and on with redstone signal. There are powered versions that actually provide more light, but I didn't feel like providing power to these at the moment. I might come back and reassess that, but for right now, I like them as they are. I dug out these holes just so I know where I place them, because I need to give them redstone signal. So I'm going to pop that down, and then a redstone right on top of that. These are the redstone conduits, also from Ender.io, and they can go into the same block as all of the other conduits, but for right now I'm just using them for quick and easy redstone control, and all I have to do is configure them to actually point down at the block. So if I do down, turn that to in out and strong signal, see how it's got the little connector there? That means now when this thing receives a redstone signal, it will provide that to the light. And you see how that turned on there? So redstone signal on means light off. So now I can actually control this powered spawner. That's not what I wanted to do at all. Let's do that again properly this time. Down, strong, on. There we go. Alright, so this one is 4 blocks in. And that is right, yes. Okay. So, as you can see, I put down the dark ethereal glass, which allows me to walk right through, but mobs cannot. So, once I get all of these configured, which I will not do on camera, because that's just tedious, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to wire them all together. So that one switch can control the whole mess. And you can see that by just plopping that down. All of them turn on, and all of them turn off. That's a horrible idea right now because it is pitch black in there with all those lights turned off, so that will spawn mobs if I'm far enough away. So I'm not going to do that at the moment. But I will wire them all together so that they're all controlled by one switch, and then I will do some other stuff. And the other stuff is to fill this with cursed earth. So cursed earth is what I got from the Division Sigil, and I just need to place a few of them down because it will spread just like regular old grass. I can even make it spread too with a watering can, which I might do, depending on how fast it spreads. But I don't believe it will spread with light. We can try that out with the watering can. It does not look like it will spread with light. However, this stuff is quite hazardous. As soon as the light turns off, mobs will start spawning wherever the purple stuff is. So I can't stand in here for very long watering this, because I'm likely to get a creeper, which will blow me up and mess up all my progress. So I will leave that as it is and then trust that it will spread in due time. I may plop down a few more just to make sure that it spreads quickly enough, but for right now, this is kind of the basics. So this is pretty much going to be the new mob spawner, and I will probably continue fiddling with it over time just to make sure that it is exactly how I want it. And then I will go back to automating all of the processing of the items and all that stuff as I had been doing before. So from here on out, there's no real shock or surprise as to how this thing is going to work, but I just wanted to get it built and show you how it's going to be for the foreseeable future. So as I make progress with this thing, I will show you in later episodes about what I've done and how it's living up to my standards. So I think that does it for today's episode, though. Got a few things done. Even covered a little bit in the book, which I was a little bit surprised about because the book is becoming less and less helpful as time goes by here. So, but yeah, I will see you next time. See ya.